Hi, it's Dan. I think I should let you know in advance that the audio in this episode is going to sound a little fucky. Devon had just set up his recording setup again after moving, and the background audio on my end is just full of traffic. I couldn't figure out how to edit that out, so you're just going to be hearing that throughout the episode. Sorry. I hope you enjoy it anyways. See ya.
Blue streak speeds by. Sonic the Hedgehog, too fast for the naked eye. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I am one of the students, Morg.
I am the other student, Devon.
And I'm the teacher, Dan. This week we went through some more SatAM. Let's see, I think I'm pretty sure I did okay, there's one small bit of news, which is that there are a bunch of more there's been some more merch announcements for the 30th anniversary. We'll be seeing a reprint of like some of the older plush toys and a new line of merch based around Tangle and Whisper from the IDW comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Tangle and Whisper have very much been given more acknowledgement by the rest of the brand, so to speak, than many comic characters in the past. In part, I think, is like from what I know, like the design was collaborated upon with like people who do like characters designs for like the games and stuff. So like Ian Flynn proposes the characters, then I believe Evan Stanley and was it just Evan? Evan and Adam Bryce Thomas like designed them, and they like went through like a consultation and approval process, which like I think Takashi Iizuka and probably some other people. I'm just listing names off the top of my head. But yeah, expect more merch, and
I love
Two
merch.
of them are cute, so
yeah,
I just looked them up.
yeah. Now that we've talked about our new things, let's talk about an old thing. We're talking about some SatAM. First, we're going through a test pilot that they tacked on at the end of Season 1 that I probably should have gone over the first time we talked about SatAM, since it does a bunch of, like, lore stuff. And then we talk about another regular episode, which serendipitously has a lot to do with the pilot's lore.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to be fair, like, the pilot probably could have been thrown in whenever, just because, like, there is a little bit of explanation, but a lot of it's still just, like, oh, you know, this just happens. Like, Sure, we get, like, a little bit about, like, oh, the rings appear because of my uncle, but, like, it's still pretty, like, open to interpret, you know?
Yeah. Our first episode we are talking about is Heads or Tails. I already explained what the deal is for that. So, we open with Robotnik landing on Mobius. He, like, meets up with, like, Snively to talk about how things are. He's got this pet robot chicken named Cluck, who I don't think we ever see again. Like I said, this was a pilot.
I wish we saw Cluck again.
No, we
maybe
see
we
Cluck.
will. Maybe.
Cluck is just kind of like the evil bird he keeps around.
Yeah, it's like your traditional supervillain with like a pet cat almost.
Yeah, it's Scratch the early days.
Yeah, I was gonna make a reference. I was like, what if he took that and made it into Scratch?
Yeah. And I guess the gist is, like, they don't elaborate on it too hard, but between this and, like, some stuff I heard years back, it seems to suggest that, like, Robotnik is, like, some space industrialist who decided to, exploit Mobius for his, own gain.
Yeah, he loves to pollute. Like, that's kind
Yeah.
of a theme. Mm-hmm. I was like, he could be just polluting his own planet, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
He's a colonizer, you know.
Very much so. We see, Robotnik, like, goes to some, like, terminal and, like, checks on, like, the spy cameras, talks about how he's got this plan that's just gonna completely destroy the Freedom Fighters, and how they hate Sonic, and they spy on Tails collecting flowers. And then Tails sees the robot that's spying on him and runs off.
Yeah, he gets chased, and, like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we gotta capture Tails, because he's always with Sonic, so maybe Sonic will come after him.
Right. Meanwhile, Rotor and Sonic have a discussion. Sonic shows up with the guitar, plays it, rehearses apparently what is supposed to be an apology to Sally. I don't know.
What did he do? That's what I want to know, because they never really bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
other than, like, oh, he's slacking or whatever. But, like, they don't reference, like, what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, I missed the part where they said this is supposed to be an apology, and I thought Sonic was fully just, like, playing an intro song for himself.
I think he did just do this for himself.
Like, I thought he was just like, check out this intro song I'm making for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought he was just being a rock star. Like,
but Sonic, I guess, sees Tails getting chased, and rescues Tails from the Buzz Bomber. So I think, like, Sonic, like, I guess he just, like, tricks the Buzz Bomber to, like, shooting a rock with a laser. The laser reflects off the rock and hits the Buzz Bomber.
yeah, I guess that's...
Yeah.
They
And
get away somehow, though.
yeah. Sonic, sees the spy bot and, like, he, like, taunts, Robotnik over it. I don't know if they actually know what, I'm not entirely sure if they're having a two-way conversation or not, but Robotnik is swearing he'll defeat him by the end of the day.
They do, because they respond to that, and they're like, oh, we won't hold our breath.
Right, okay. I have written down in my notes the phrase scootin' and rootin', which I assume is something Sonic said while they were going down the secret slide to Knothole.
This is the pilot, so it's nothing but Sonic sayings the whole
He
time.
just says shit.
He just keeps saying shit.
We got a bunch of guys in their 30s in the year 1994 to try to figure out what cool kids sound like, and
Got a juice.
They figure cool kids say,
Scoot and juice it.
Juice me.
Juice me. God.
Same
they,
Brainworms.
fucking, they, like Ben Hurst gets a tape of Kyle XY sent back in time, like 15 years, and he sees,
Juice
the guy saying, "Juice me, brother," and he's like, "This is it. This is what I need to make Sonic cool."
And that's why
This
he says
is-
Kizzle Dizzle.
He says this is peak cool kid lingo.
This is peak cool teen.
Yeah.
This is why Sonic will not have a belly button.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
exactly.
None of the
He
animals
sends
have
that back
belly
in time a
buttons.
couple years earlier to, I don't know, Takashi Iizuka or Yuji Naka. I don't know who designed him. And he sees, oh, he doesn't have... This cool boy doesn't have a belly button. Gotta make sure I get that for my character.
It'd be weird if Sonic had a belly button. I would scream. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Sonic wasn't born.
This is sick. I hate this.
Yeah, Sonic was hatched from an egg. So, there is a motorcycle outside. Oh well. Okay, there it goes. But yeah, they're in Knothole. The rest of the Freedom Fighters are like testing out these catapults that they're planning to use to like defend Knothole Village in an emergency.
They
We
keep
get
fucking breaking.
Yeah, they keep breaking.
They keep breaking because we just realized we're making them out of wood and not metal.
We get this like pilot Sally design who's like pink, I guess, has different hair.
You know, girl.
Yeah.
She still definitely has the same vibe. Like,
Yeah,
She has
definitely
the same vibe, but pink, so
Yeah,
no girl.
There is an interesting line here where like Antoine's trying to sweet talk her, and she says that she does not consider herself royalty in the forest. It's
the only royalty is nature.
yeah.
Antoine, you may only call me queen when I have my castle back.
Yeah. So they figure out, as stated earlier, that part of the catapults need to be made out of metal, not wood. So Sally tells Sonic to go into Mobotropolis and scavenge for metal cotter pins. And Sonic acts like a cartoon character. I imagine Sonic's HUD has somewhere collect metal cotter pins 0 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a new mission was just logged.
So
How does Tails get out here? Because, like, Tails just starts running into a tree. That's all I, like, remember. It goes from, like, that to Tails running into a tree.
yeah.
What the fuck?
He answers with the line, "I'm heading to the big
Yeah.
city." And that's the only explanation for what he's doing.
I'm not crazy, right? Like, he just kind of, like, it gets from, like, Sonic and
Yeah.
Rotor talking to, like, Tails just running into a tree, like, 3 times.
There's some cuts here that make me wonder, like, well, like, did they have to do a little extra effort to, like, stitch whatever test stuff they had to show to the shareholders or whatever?
It, like, feels like they attended this to be their pilot episode because it's filled with nothing but quippy one-liners of a pilot.
Mhm.
But then they're just kind of like, well, as you know, Tails is a child and wants to head to the big city, so he'll just go to the tree we all know about.
Yeah.
that lets them head to the city.
Mm-hmm.
We all know this.
Yeah, speaking of reveals, we find out they need to get a ring out of a lake to protect themselves. So yeah, there's this lake that produces magical rings, and
We've gotten this before, but we never got, like, why.
yeah,
Well, you know, Uncle Chuck made it.
yeah, this isn't a naturally occurring magical ring lake. Uncle Chuck made it, which
Uncle
I think
Chuck
only
made a
raises
lake.
further questions.
Uncle Chuck made a lake that gives you superpowers if you grab a ring.
Yeah,
Uncle
like, it was weird enough that there were just, like, magical rings that were produced out of a lake, but, like...
Yeah, is Uncle Chuck a wizard?
Yeah, what the fuck? We see him later, he seems more like a mechanical kind of guy.
Yeah.
Literally and metaphorically.
Barring the next episode, I would like to think that Uncle Chuck is at that bottom of that lake just making rings by hand, and that's why it takes them so long.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Sonic is like, we have to go
Yeah,
find
he
Uncle
just,
Chuck,
like,
and Uncle
makes-
Chuck's like, oh.
Uncle Chuck just spits out rings from the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
He's just chilling down there.
He's actually just a fish.
There's this weird thing where, like, Rotor puts on a lobster bib, and I don't know if there's supposed to be a joke here or not.
Yeah, what the fuck? Rotor
It
doesn't
just-
even really, like, stay in the episode that long after.
Rotor's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Mostly just Sonic and Tails.
Rotor feels like the big brother who just kind of casually smokes weed in the background. Like, he gives you something when you show up, but then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go get high, bye.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Tails wants to go to Mobotropolis, and I guess it's because he's a 4-year-old. I don't know.
He likes to cause problems on purpose.
Yeah. And, like, Tails guilts Sonic into going with him by, like, saying, well, I'm already out of Knothole, and it would be dangerous for me to go back on my own.
It would be dangerous for you to go get Rotor in 2 seconds and bring him back here
Yeah.
to take me home.
It's not like Sonic is famously known for being fast.
No.
It's not like Sonic, in the 2 seconds that it takes him to explain this, could have run me home.
Mm-hmm. But Sonic decides he's gonna take Tails with him, and he's gonna keep him in his backpack like Kazooie. And I thought maybe there'd be a fun thing where where Tails would, like, carry Sonic.
Yeah, me
around.
too.
Yeah.
Like, towards the end, like, when they make their escape, I was like, oh, Tails is gonna fly. No.
Why would
No.
Tails carry Sonic? Tails is baby.
Yeah, it's not like Tails is famously known for his 2 tails that let him fly.
He literally flew in this episode. He just can't
Literally-
carry Sonic, I guess.
Yeah.
No, in this canon, he is physically and mentally baby. He is 2 years old and doesn't know shit.
Yeah. So they juice off to Robotropolis.
Juice off.
I just need the Sonic to just use the phrase juice more often.
He uses it so much in the second episode, Dan.
Yeah.
It's so much. I was like, I should make a tally, but I didn't. But, like, I was like, if he says it again, I'm gonna scream. And then he did it, like, as soon as I said that. I was like, come on, man! He says it enough.
Yeah. So yeah, they're in Robotropolis. Sonic immediately finds the cotter pins, and then he exposits he does some world building for Tails. Tells him about the robots, about Uncle Chuck and Mutsky, his beloved dog and his beloved uncle.
I love to see the dog because, of course, the dog shows up.
Yeah. Like, right after he talks about Mutsky, we see a robot dog, which is Mutsky that got turned into a robot.
Oh my god. Speaking of pets, I'm sorry if you hear my cat just like slurping in the background. He's being disgusting. Anyways, it's so Sonic, I didn't think Sonic would run into the problem of like the goofy problem, you know? I didn't think
Right.
Sonic would run into the like there's anthro and there's regular animal. I thought everything would just be like anthropomorphic.
Right.
But no, there's regular dogs, four-legged
Yeah.
dogs,
Yeah,
normal stuff.
I know that, like, this isn't... I think Mutsky is in, like, a handful of Sonic comics and, like, this show and nothing else. I think it tries to, like, avoid that problem. There is, in fact, way later on in the comics, they do a soft reboot, and they solve this in a way that just makes things even weirder.
Oh, no.
And to be fair, the weirder stuff is kind of a bit. Like, they're like, what the fuck? Why is this the solution? But that's for another day.
I'm worried.
I dread to see it.
Yeah. So yeah, Sonic like manages to relay some commands to Mutsky, gets him to overcome the programming very briefly. But it doesn't last long. And then Sonic gets surrounded by SWAT bots. They are no issue for Sonic because they are slow and he is fast. So Sonic hides in an air vent.
Tale as old as time.
Mm-hmm.
Tails is just in the bag the whole time, also.
Yeah. This
Tails
whole
is
time.
baby.
He does not cause problem. Like, I mean, he does because he, like, sneezes. But, like, he does not cause as many problems as I was expecting, I guess.
There's also later an implication that he might have shit his doo-doo ass in that bag, but they don't talk about it.
Right. So, yeah, Robotnik is, like, giving a speech to the SWAT bots about how he's going to defeat the Freedom Fighters because, he's got a bunch of tanks full of pesticide, and he's gonna, I guess, drop them over the forest.
And kill all the
trees. Dr. Robotnik has invented Agent Orange.
Mm-hmm.
God.
He's going to commit a war crime.
Oh, absolutely.
God.
Again.
But only against trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Robotnik is...
And then against the people who live in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think out of all of the Robotniks, this one might be the most likely to have actually broken laws by the Geneva Convention. I
don't know. Sonic Underground Robotnik actively turns people into robots in front of other people's faces.
Right.
They seem very similar. Like the Underground Robotnik and the SatAM Robotnik seem more similar than like a lot of other Robotniks.
What if they were the same? This is just like after Sonic's siblings just mysteriously disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's an idea.
Connecting the lore.
Yeah, so the Agent Orange will kill all the trees, which will reveal their secret base. And as like a backup, he's going to have this Sonic-seeking missile going off to hit Sonic. And it is a missile with Sonic's nose on the tip, spines along the sides, and various red and blue doodads.
Yeah, it does this kind of cartoony shit with the missile, but then it also is like, I'm going to commit a war crime. And I'm like, what is the tone of this cartoon? What are you doing?
Do you think the fact that it looks like Sonic is necessary for it to be able to seek him out? Or do you think that this is just like Robotnik customizing a missile?
I think...
It's the latter for sure. He just thought it was good.
He thought the irony would be funny?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails are in the vent. Tails says he has to piss, but this never comes up again.
He
Yeah.
shits his doodoo ass and no one ever talks about it.
Yeah.
I literally thought he was gonna, like, make noise doing that, but no, it's because he sneezed, which he, like, sneezed earlier in the episode because of the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
They chickened out.
They were like, we do
like,
not
"No,
want him to
wait.
piss his pants.
Yeah.
We cannot have. I was saying there as like, oh, so the joke is Robotnik's gonna be talking and piss is just gonna fall on his head. Like that's just what is gonna happen.
Ew.
But no, they chickened out.
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
No, it's definitely a good decision, but
Yeah. Tails sneezes. I'd say it's a good decision, but they should have edited that line out if they weren't going to do anything about
Right,
it. But,
yeah. It was just kind of a floating line.
yeah. So yeah, Tails sneezes, knocks Sonic and Tails out of like the vent they were in and in front of Robotnik. And we cut to commercial, we cut back. They are revealed, but they are able to escape. As it turns out, that power ring they collected earlier can be used to make Sonic warp almost. Well, I don't know if he's warping or if he's just going even faster than usual.
I think he's just going even faster.
Yeah.
I think he's just because he takes out all the like SWAT bots before he goes.
I think they show him warping in a...
Which, if you can do that, just like, sorry.
All I said was, I think they showed him warping with it in, like, a different episode we watched. I might be misremembering, though. But, like, he definitely just went really fast. And, yeah, this is the point where I thought he was gonna, like, Tails was gonna fly them away.
Yeah.
Tails just had goggles in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
They're like running away
That
super
was
fast, and Tails just suddenly has goggles on.
Yeah.
Did he know to pack those?
Got it.
Or did he take them from somebody?
I assume he packed them because he knew they were going to go fast.
I assume Hammer Space. I don't know.
Sonic reaches a knothole, warns the other freedom fighters, and they prep for a defense. They were able to upgrade the catapults, but their range is too short. So Sonic decides, well, I'm very fast, and all the Buzz Bombers are programmed to shoot me on sight, so I'm going to lure them into range. So he does that.
I'm very fast, so what I'll do is I'll lead the things that we want to keep away from Knothole directly towards Knothole.
Yeah. Let's see. I think, like, they're pretty easily able to, like, Sonic beats the Buzz Bombers carrying the pesticide. It lands in, like, some canyon that's between these two locations.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just like, oh, that's a mess to deal with later. It never comes up again.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's way later.
Maybe that'll, I don't know, maybe there'll be, like, some bit, like, half a dozen episodes from now where, oh, fuck, we left that there. How did we forget that? I don't know.
They're not gonna remember.
That's the canyon where Cat is at, actually.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
Cat?
Cat's Canyon.
Oh, God.
He's just chilling out down there.
Forgot about Cat.
They'll go
I
see
forgot
him
about
later.
the best character, Cat. I'm sorry.
How could you forget about our war hero?
But yeah, Sonic's easily able to take it out. He solves the Hedgehog missile problem by just riding the missile into some more Buzz Bombers.
And the missile, like, looks at him very, like, cartoony.
Yeah.
Like, looking for me? I'm on your back.
Yeah,
He does eventually get them close enough to the catapult.
Yeah.
Like, after he takes care of the pesticide and the missile, He gets them close. He gets the buzz bombers close enough to the catapults, and everyone just like throws water balloons at them.
Yeah. They save Tails, who was getting chased by a buzz bomber.
I was like, where did he come from? Wasn't he in a tree?
Yeah, that was just... That just sort of happened. And, after taking out enough, the rest of the buzz bombers retreat. Robotnik takes out his anger by beating up Snively off screen. And we end the episode with Sonic and Sally having a conversation where Sonic demands praise from her.
Yeah, he kind of already, like, it's a continuation from earlier when he's like, oh, I helped you yesterday. And she's like, no, you didn't. Day before. And then, like, she throws it back at him.
Yeah, her favorite line is there an echo?
Yeah. She says it twice in the episode. I'm like, can you really have a callback, like, a half an hour later? I guess so. I'm just being too critical. I'm sorry. It's just the...
I do love how this...
Oh, all I was going to say is it's just the pilot, except I have issues with the second episode too, so never mind.
I do love how this episode kind of refuses to have, like, a lesson.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it should be, like, a fun lesson between Tails and Sonic, but no... nothing relevant happened between them. And the lesson is apparently Sonic is fast, and that is how he helps the village. He will not do work.
This doesn't seem like a show that has, like, Sonic says in it, like, adventure, where it's like, let's do a moral at the end.
Yeah.
No.
Sonic doesn't...
The moral is Sonic is cool and you're not.
Sonic doesn't walk over to that abandoned pile of pesticides and say, don't overuse pesticides. That, I guess, now that... I guess they couldn't figure out how to continue getting that government money for making it quote-unquote educational. So, episode 3, Ultrasonic, misleading title.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, this has nothing to do with him going ultrasonic or supersonic.
Like, it's an Uncle Chuck episode. It's an episode where we get to meet Uncle Chuck, but
Why couldn't
I guess
it be called, like, Ultra Chuck?
Yeah. Now that I am looking at the episode list on YouTube, it does seem like one of the key things they try to do with the season 1 episodes is find a way to put Sonic in the name.
Alright.
Season 2 doesn't have that, so I guess they gave up on that after a while. But even still, Ultrasonic is a very nothing title. So
Means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. So, we open with Sonic and Sally running through Robotropolis. I guess they're, like, trying to, like, get stuff that'll help them figure out how to undo roboticizing. Because they're, like, spying on a roboticizer. And later on, when we see the rest of them, they talk about looking for old roboticizer parts. See, they do the cool fist bump. Sonic and Sally have this banter about Sonic insisting he's handsome.
Sure, you can call it that.
Yeah. Yeah. He, like, pulls out a mirror and slides his quills back.
It's very belabored, and I think it might be just because this show is not aimed at me. An
Yeah.
adult, but also, boy oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Goes on for like just a little too long.
Yeah.
Once again, this goes back to me never knowing where this show is going to take me. I thought this episode, because it started off with Sonic being like, oh, the two of us together can do anything. Haha, we joke, we joke. I thought this was going to be an episode about how they don't talk to each other and they have to, like, team up again and friendship and anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
This opening sequence has nothing to do with the rest of the show.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's just to give them a reason to be in this location. And
to be vaguely in the same area as the character we meet.
Yeah, so, Sniffly spots him with a scanner, and floods the vents with fire extinguisher foam. At first I thought it was gas, but no, it's foam.
Yeah, because there's like, oh yeah, obviously he's flooding it with gas to knock them out. And then they're just like, oh no, the fire extinguishers. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
But, they escape, and they use the fire extinguisher foam to cushion their fall, down, I guess, the side of a building.
Yeah.
Then they do, like, this, escape sequence on a hover pad. They're, like, getting chased by ships. And, like, they establish the ships are not shooting at them because they want to take them alive so they can be roboticized. Eventually, they...
Because now, Dr. Robotnik really cares about roboticizing Sonic and not just killing him outright.
So, the hover pad gets shot down, but they reach the rendezvous point in time. And I guess they get away. While they're at the rendezvous point, Sonic spots his uncle, Uncle Chuck, who looks like him with a mustache, but also a robot, boarding a train.
Literally, all of the other robots have the same design, except for Uncle Chuck. Everyone got roboticized to be the same design of drone-looking bot, except Uncle Chuck.
Well, what you don't know is all the other robots were actually a family of septuplets who all look the same originally.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So, you know.
Yeah. I know there's, like, some lore about Uncle Chuck about that would make him a particularly important case, but we'll get to that someday later. So, Sonic wants to save Uncle Chuck. He sees, like, the train that Uncle Chuck is getting on is headed for the Crystal Mines. And after it leaves, the rest of the Freedom Fighters show up. Like I said, they were looking for roboticizer parts, they didn't find any. Sonic tells them about Uncle Chuck, and they figure, well, the reason we came here didn't go so well, so might as well do this now. They take this, I guess it's some sort of smaller maintenance car or something.
Yeah, there's just a tram to the diamond mines.
Yeah, it's
just kind of around.
Mm-hmm. It's smaller than the train that the robots got on earlier. So they get to the mines. They spot the roboticized workers. And Sonic tries to, like, get Uncle Chuck's attention. But as it turns out, Uncle Chuck is feral, cannot think, cannot sleep. All Uncle Chuck knows is follow orders. So he sets off an alarm and tries to attack Sonic. But Bunny's able to restrain him. Sonic turns off the alarm. And while they're, like, figuring out what to do, Sally gets an idea. They of course brought a ring, because they need to if they want to go out here.
I would just like to say before we get too far, incredibly funny, and this is like a theme for the rest of the show, how they just kind of like hand this feral robot man to Bunny and just say, "Can you hold this?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she's just like, okay, and she just does.
Yeah, she's got robot parts. She can handle it.
She's very strong.
So Sally gets an idea. Uncle Chuck made the rings, so they're gonna give him a ring and see if that works. And as it turns out, it does. They have a bit of a reuniting scene. And then Uncle Chuck says, "Okay, now that that's out of the way, I need your help with something. I've been on this project for a while, and this will stop it. So, we need to go deeper into the mines, down the elevator shaft." They slide down an elevator shaft, and there is, at the bottom of this mine, a giant energy crystal, and Robotnik needs it to replace his dwindling oil supply.
At which first I thought, oh, cool, Robotnik is getting into clean energy. He's just going to use this seeming limitless supply of energy crystal. And then Uncle Chuck is like, this will kill the environment.
Yeah. I guess this isn't too far off of, like, a metaphor for industrialism, because there are clean energy sources that, when harvested, have a greater negative impact than the benefits they would gain for, like, powering an electric car or a battery or something.
Yeah, but is this, like, crystal like hyper radioactive?
I guess it's like Chaos Emeralds, where it's just got magic energy in it or something.
I mean, I kind of figured it was, like, Chaos Emerald without, or, like, Master Emerald without calling it a Master Emerald, but I guess then it would be, like, more important, but, and do more stuff other than be energy, but, I mean, I guess you can say, like, it's similar to, like, rare earth minerals used on, like, solar panels and stuff like that. But it's also, like, it seems like it'll just, like, instantly cause Mobius trouble, because, like, the way they were talking about it is, like, if it goes to the surface, things will explode around it. Is kind of what it sounded like. Like, I don't know how else to take that other than, like, instantaneous destruction.
It's just gonna destroy everything. Sonic takes out a guard by reflecting a laser it shoots with a mirror, and then takes out a second guard by basically the same tactic, but shooting a metal wall. And I guess we sort of get their plan, which is there's this big dino robot that's used in construction stuff. Through Sally, Rotor, and Antoine going into the main control room, and Sonic, Bunny, and Uncle Chuck going directly into the robot, they're going to override it and use it to, like, destroy everything here. That's the plan. We get some cool action stealth segments. Antoine says gringo, which is Spanish. Let's see. We get a bit where Bunny and Rotor and Antoine have to, like, shut off the robot in the control room. Sally, Rotor, and Antoine. Whatever. It's not important. They take over the robot. And
there is an incredible scene where Rotor is fighting the robot and it grabs him while Sally tries to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, an implied scene where the robot just has, like, a dick gun.
Yeah. It just has a gun.
Yeah, but it looks like it just kind of comes out of its pelvis.
Right. Dick gun. Patent pending.
Robotnik is making huge strides.
Mm-hmm.
Robotnik's a sicko.
It's monster.
It's that bit in Machete, one of the Machete films.
I've never seen any of them, I'm sorry.
It's cool. It's like the only thing I know about them. There's a scene where Machete has like a dick gun and uses it to shoot bad guys.
Incredible.
Well, he doesn't have a dick gun in Spy Kids, so I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, it's part of the extended Spy Kids canon.
Yeah.
Sonic, Bunny, Uncle Chuck have to climb inside the Dinobot's mouth to get up in its control system. They get into the manual controls. They do their whole plan. There's one problem though. There's a lot of SWAT bots, and they all have metal cable grappling guns that can hold down the Dino Robot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they do.
Yeah. There's this extended sequence of them grappling, or just tying down the robot. But thankfully the robot also has a laser, so they use that to just laser the, I assume, hemp ropes that are being used to lift this giant crystal.
Well, first they laser the crystal and it just absorbs it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, fuck, this didn't work. Also, okay, so they do that at first because they can't get it down with, the arm. And I was like, they're trying to destroy it. Which confused me because I thought, doing anything to the crystal would cause, an issue. And I feel like breaking it apart would be a bad thing, too, for the environment, maybe. Or at least, them all underground.
Yeah. At the very least, a cave-in.
But it was fine because it just absorbed it.
Yeah.
So they, lasered the ropes.
Mm-hmm. They basically, they did hack check, failed the first time, and came up with an explanation to roll it again, and succeeded the second time. They all managed to escape. They're able to turn off everything. For all intents and purposes, they have sabotaged this operation.
Woo.
And just before they're able to get on the train and get out of this mine, Uncle Chuck goes feral again. And I do want to note, Sonic is way less of a cartoon character around Uncle Chuck. And he's
yeah, he's genuinely very heartfelt and kind.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I hope they write him like this more often because it's better than Quit Machine.
I feel like that works better for this show too, because it seems like they're trying to go for something with more character arc and interaction, and when he's a Quit Machine, it just is too much. And I think that's why I mentioned earlier in the Discord, it seems like stuff goes on for slightly too long, and I think it's just because they want to get more Sonic quips out, and I'm that doesn't really work here like it does for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
right. It's I guess if for whatever reason they needed to cast Bugs Bunny in just, I don't know, a war movie, but without any of the charm to it.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
so Space Jam 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Space Jam 2.
The real Space Jam 2, though, not the one we all saw in movie theaters.
Yeah, not the fake one being pilfered to us, the real one.
God.
I also
So-
want to just point
Such a
out
good
that
video.
this episode starts halfway through. They do just give Feral Chuck to Bunny, and she just holds him perfectly fine. I say do that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just take him with them. Maybe chain him up in the basement.
Like, what is he gonna do? She's apparently strong enough just to put him
She's
in a
stronger
chokehold.
than him. Like, proved, like, even when he was, like, good, like, she had to, like, help with
Yeah.
the thing in the dinosaur machine.
Right.
Yeah, just put him in like a full Nelson, and then what is he gonna do?
So
Just give him like his hourly dose of ring.
yeah. So they're forced to abandon Uncle Chuck, and Sonic has to be dragged into the subway car by them. And the episode ends with this little conversation where they try to encourage the demoralized Sonic by saying, "Yeah, we didn't save him that time, but we're going to someday. That's our goal."
And he cries out of his pupils.
He does cry out of his pupils.
They try to cheer Sonic up by saying, "Let's scoot it and juice it."
Yeah.
They say, "Juice me," and he says, "Haha, very funny."
It's just like my favorite show, Kyle XY.
They're like, "Hey, Sonic, it's just like your favorite show, Kyle XY."
And then Sonic, feeling a bit better, says, grapefruit.
Oh, he fucking would, like, oh no, he would like Josh, wouldn't he?
He'd say, "Good Lord of the
no.
Rings."
Oh god. He would love that one, because he'd be like, ha, rings!
He gets a ring out of the lake and he says, "Good Lord of the Rings."
I hate this. I hate this so much. Good Lord of the Rings! What if Sonic had that voice?
You know, fucking Jaleel White doing Sonic voice. He just has to change the tone just a little bit to go into Josh voice.
God, you're so right. I think that's why I thought he would like Josh,
He's
because
just
he
Josh.
just sounds like him.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's just Josh.
It's Josh to
It's
me.
just Josh to me.
Yeah, so that ends our episodes for this week. Let us check if we got any asks. If you want to send us a question, you can either message us at our Twitter at ShuffleSonic, or you can message us anytime at your leisure in our Ask Zone on our Discord, linked in every episode, and on the Twitter. We didn't get any Discord questions, which is a bit of a surprise. Admittedly, I did send it in. I probably could have, sent it in, that's why I didn't do an app. That's probably why.
That's fine. I mean, we got some on the Twitter. We got 2 of them.
Yeah. We got 2 sets of questions. Our first set of questions is from question asker of the show, Jasmine Marsh, who asks, "What do you think of idle games add no space venture capitalism and communism? How bad would SatAM Robotnik make microtransactions? And are there any I'll be a monkey's uncle jokes with the Chuckster?" I'm having some trouble.
The microtransaction would happen without your knowledge every time
Yeah.
Sonic said juice.
What is add no space venture capitalism?
Yeah, I'm having some trouble parsing this one, but,
I mean,
I only know.
I don't like ads on idle games, but
maybe...
I'm also not gonna pay money if I'm playing them. I don't know.
No, what the ad is actually every time Sonic says "juice me," It lasts
Yeah.
a full 30 seconds.
Oh,
And
shit.
you can skip it.
Yeah.
You can skip it, but it does cost 99 cents.
I did
Yeah,
get it. So we watched this on YouTube because, like, someone posts them. But,
Yeah.
so I got ads this time, and I don't remember getting ads for, like, the kid ones before.
Yeah.
The ads were insufferable.
This sucks.
I've got, like, uBlock, AdBlock Plus. Get those if you need to. I'm saying this both to Morg and to the people listening to this show.
I should say I watch on my phone because I wasn't on my computer.
Right.
So it'd be different if I was watching it on my computer, where I do have that.
Right.
But I don't on my phone.
Right. And from what I know, the solutions for phones are either give YouTube your hard-earned money or some weird jailbreaky shit that I'm not gonna bother with.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna break my phone for this.
Let's see, what else? There weren't any "well, I'll be a hedgehog's uncle" jokes. But maybe there will be.
Yeah, it goes
Maybe
pretty
he'll
normal.
show up again someday.
I do like to call him the Chuckster because I just think of those shitty guys in Super Mario Sunshine that like throw you off the map because you're like trying to get to the Starshine.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like
what if when he went feral, he just said in an NPC voice, "I'm the Chuckster," and just threw Sonic.
fuck. I'm the Chuckster. That's what I always imagine their voices like.
The more feral.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
So, our second set of questions is from friend of the show, also a question asker, and also a Strangers Fiction co-host. Both of them are Strangers Fiction co-hosts. Violet, Puzzled Cat Girl Violet, at Kitty Cat Herder, who asks, would you want a spin-off of this Sonic spin-off where a robot uncle and a robot dog team up to fight space capitalism? If yes, then what fun abilities would the duo have to foil either Eggman or a new villain, Captain Capital N Vestment, who works for Dr. Robotnik? Yeah, sure. I like that. I want dog-shaped robot buddies.
Hell yeah. Like, first of all...
This could be the dramatic return of Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Cat comes back, but he's made a heel turn. He's evil now.
He's Captain Capital Investment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's such a great, like, Sonic name. Capital Investment.
It's a real...
It's, like, corny, but also, like, good at the same time.
It's a real Crash Bandicoot name.
Yes. I also just like the idea of a robot uncle and a robot dog team up.
Right?
Yeah.
Just, like, by itself. Like, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic is just constantly like, oh, Uncle Chuck, where are you? And Uncle Chuck is, like, out in space having the time of his life with his dog.
My brain just said Uncle Chuck become new type, which makes no sense.
Uncle Chuck get a Gundam.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Uncle Chuck is a Gundam.
Chuck is Gundam.
Eventually, someday, we're going to talk about Sonic 06, which does have Silver, who does have psychic powers, but I don't know if it's, like, new type style, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably not.
But there is another character who might... I don't know what new types are like, so I can't elaborate on this further. There will be psychics in this show. Or, I guess, podcast. But anyways, that's it for questions. So... let's roll for next week. That is a 3, which means we're going to make a very slight shift into American comics. I don't remember what we have to do next, but I'll look into it and maybe I'll say what it is in post. Hi, it's Dan. We recorded this episode already, and next week you will hear us talk about Sonic Specials 2 and 3, which are based on Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic Triple Trouble. We'll also be talking about issue 26. That's it. Bye. So, until then, I am Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/big_challenges. From there, you can find my Twitter at biggerchallenge. You can find the other podcasts I do, which include Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. We have finished Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and by the time you hear this, we will have started recording on Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We are also having our annual, sign-ups for our annual Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy Rules Tournament, the Cup of Greed. You'll, go over to kaiba.online to learn more. You can also listen to Stranger's Fiction, an actual play podcast focused on one-shots. We have completed recording and are in the process of uploading our, interstitial actual play. Very recently, episode 4 went up, wherein our characters, including Kazuma Kiryu, played by me, Regina Mills from Once Upon a Time, played by Cassidy, Annabella Vizzini, a character from an RPG called 7C, played by Jordan, and Miss Bianca from The Rescuers, played by Violet, go and do cool dark side meditation in the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Fuck, that sounds so good, actually.
Yeah. You can also listen to, not yet, but soon, Video Games, the Movie, the Podcast. A monthly video game movie review podcast hosted by me and my friend Maxie at Maxie Satan. We talk about a different video game every month, or video game movie every month. And this month will be our first month, and we will be starting with the video game, the Super Mario Brothers movie. And last but not least, you can visit at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. And, let's see, May 22nd. What'll be around then? As it turns out, May 22nd will be a few days after Shavuot. I don't know how that's pronounced. I think it's a Hebrew holiday. And, Agender Pride Day.
Hey!
Yeah. That's it for me. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on my other podcast, Departure Lounge, a Hunter x Hunter podcast where the whole theme is airplane themed and that I haven't seen it before themed, and it's good. You should listen. That's it for now. Devon?
You can find me on Twitter at Grooving Ghastly, and you can also find me on a Hunter x Hunter podcast called Going Well Hunting, where the theme is we have no theme and it's just us rambling for an hour and a half. We have been on a little break, mostly because I just moved and doing things is difficult. So that'll eventually update. Eventually.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's just the curse of doing a Hunter x Hunter podcast, honestly.
Yeah,
It's okay.
We've caught the Togashi virus.
It'd be like that.
You're both going to need a lot of help from someone who does a Sailor Moon podcast.
Yes.
True.
I must find friends who do Sailor Moon podcast.
So, we are the Sonic Shuffle. You can follow us on Twitter at ShuffleSonic. And from there, and in the episode description of every episode, you can find our Discord. There's been a little... It's kind of a quiet server. There's been a tiny bit more discussion.
Yeah.
It's nice, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in too many busy
Yeah,
Discords,
sometimes my phone goes
honestly.
fucking crazy and I say I can't handle this.
Yeah. You don't need to worry as much about setting notifications to off. And we are part of the Noise Space podcast network, which you can find at noisespace.xyz. Z for Americans like us. And on this week's alphabetical shout out is Henry Kissinger is Pokemon. Oh, hang on. Okay. And on this week's annual shout out is Henry Kissinger is Pokemon going to die. Not a threat, just a fact. Everyone is Pokemon going to die someday, and that includes Henry Kissinger.
I'm gonna be honest, when you paused there for a second, I literally thought that you were, like, looking up to see if he actually died yet.
God.
I was like, did he die?
If he ever...
I was just like,
If he ever
Did I miss something?
Pokemon goes and dies, I'm sure there will be an at everyone in the Discord.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Dobby Pussy Indulgence all day long.
Yeah.
I will at everyone personally because I am a mod.
Yeah. From there, you can encounter all sorts of fun people who are... That's spelled out weird. Okay. From there... sorry, I didn't actually say what it is. It is a leftist politics podcast for the terminally online. Like, hopefully you are. And like we are. The most recent episode seems to have gone up 2 months ago. They don't update as much nowadays, but,
Life's hard, you know? Fucking...
Yeah. Just a little update.
Yeah,
just a little out
online. You get online and you see the newest thing that Elon Musk has done, and you're like, nope, logging off.
You can... But before that, on February, is a very special episode, a very special post-Trump episode called Nintendo 64, where the hosts got together to discuss and rank all of the greatest blunders and mistakes that are funny, the funniest ones, that our former wet president made.
Oh, that was such a good episode.
All hail RBG Tiny Dancer.
Oh my god. Like, man. I feel like HKIP is kind of even though it wasn't the first, I don't think it was the first Noise Space podcast, I feel like it was like kind of the spawn of a lot of other podcasts on Noise Space.
Yeah. I would definitely say that the HKIP server is basically just the Noise Space server for the public.
Right, yeah.
But I think that about sums it up. So, as always, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He's the only blue live that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
When he storms through